What's up, everybody? So we got a full show for you today. Wanted to talk about quite a few things, and because I'm always rushed for time right up until showtime, we're still trying to put all that stuff together. So one thing I did want to really talk about, just real quick, Sadiq is going to have those in the comments, is just if you guys feel like you are experiencing something that's hard to handle. Times um, are always, it seems like when we read the news and everything, it's always something happening, right? And biking has been just this really great place for me. When I first started riding with RBC, I was going through a really rough time myself. My son had just been diagnosed as being autistic, and I needed a space to just physically kind of get things out. But past that, therapy has been like super great for me. And I want to make sure that I put that out there with some links. So if you are going through something, or if you know someone who is going through something, please save these links down below. There's all kinds of great stuff between a warm line. I misunderstood the person who gave this to me. I thought it was like a worm line, but it's warm as in the temperature is warm. There's a picture of San Francisco in the background. That's in the event that, someone is going through a really rough time. It's not like an emergency, but they really need to talk to somebody. Maybe their friends aren't available, their therapist isn't available, whoever they talk to isn't available. That's a link that's available for you there. There's a Psychology Today, which is really awesome. If you need to find a therapist in your area, you just plug in your area code and it'll pull that up for you. Also, Sadiq reminded me of a crisis text line. If you feel like someone's maybe more comfortable text messaging stuff they're going through, that's a really great link there. So I just want to make sure that everybody who is watching, remember, this may not be for you. This may be for someone that you come across. And when we're doing bike rides, I want to make sure we really stress and remind people that it really should be an open place, a safe place. I don't want people showing up and going crazy, but we need to remember that there's a ton of different personalities when people show up to these bike rides, right? So be nice to your route leader as they mainly shape your experience. And we have some really amazing route leaders. And also just be kind to other people who are riding with you, even if they seem a little bit off, because you don't know what they're going through when they show up to a bike ride. So I just want to put that out there for you guys and just, tell you a little bit about my own experience too. Well, today I got Richard to be able to hop on the show today and tell us a little bit about what it was like opening a bike shop this crazy time. So we're just going to go ahead and add him to the stream and say hello. What's up, Richard?
What up? What up?
And good job, DJ Sadiq, rebranding everything in the background while we were there. Good job, buddy. Woo woo. There's DJ Sadiq. All right. So thanks for showing up today, coming out on this virtual meeting. Maybe want to start out with the basics, like where are you located?
We are on Day Street in the Canyon Springs Plaza. Behind us is Box Springs, right where Box Springs sort of becomes Ironwood, where it intersects with Day. A lot of people know the Green Onion. That restaurant's been there for 34 years. So when people call, say, "Where are you?" "We're across from the Green Onion." Okay, they know where the Green Onion is. It's an institution.
Yeah, great tacos. And if you haven't been there, order the steak picado.
I usually order like once a week because I can just walk, especially when it's raining. I don't want to get in my car and drive to go get food. And yeah, they just repainted the shopping center. It's come a long way. It's pretty much full now. We've got a nice, really all family-owned small businesses in the shopping center. It's been great. I got a tax guy next door doing the taxes.
There you go.
Yeah, they really turned it around and it's been great. And it's got a lot of room for test rides. So people can ride all the repairs. So we need room to ride them, make sure they're good.
So people can drop off the bike, go get some Mexican food, and then get their taxes done all in one shot right there.
Yeah, get a Cadillac Margarita and come back and buy an expensive bike.
There you go. I dig it. All right. So that's where you're located. And then what's been maybe the most challenging thing about owning a shop, both the time period that you're opening a shop, location, all that kind of fun jazz?
Yeah, well, we were sort of econo bike in Redlands, and our owner Eric he owned two businesses. He owned a bike shop and he owned a little architectural business too, because he's an architect. And he was fried because neither business slowed down. The pandemic craziness was crazy on both ends. So when he gave us a lot of notice about renewing the lease, and he didn't want to keep it going, so we worked out a nice deal, and I just bought the whole shop and moved it over here. And at the time, it was just getting bikes, chains, pumps, everything's hard. And then, now we're a 1 year in, it's the total opposite. Everybody's got stuff. And the decisions are harder because it's like, wow, this is a good deal. This is a good deal. Now there's free shipping when before the shipping was astronomical. You have to be pickier, whereas before you just take whatever you can get with two wheels and handlebars.
Yeah. And now people are more picky. Yeah,
people are more picky, and it's a little shop. So, you got to be picky about how we use the space and what we're going to, have and things like that. So, that's been a challenge.
Yeah, for those of you guys watching too, one of the things, like when I went out to Arizona, there is a sign, which I mean, it would be good probably for every local bike shop, is, buy where you ride. So we have local shops, in different spaces. You're one of the few that does full service in Moreno Valley. So just depending on where you're at, we're not going to raise one bike shop over the other. But you guys are over on the Moreno Valley Riverside, like kind of close to that border.
You go 5 minutes down Box Springs, it's Riverside, and 5 minutes the opposite way, it's Moreno Valley. We're sort of right on the line. Yeah.
Sweet. What do you think has been the most rewarding about owning a bike shop?
The whole town has been great. I don't think we've had a negative customer experience. There's been a lot of relief, I think, because before there wasn't one, since Neighborhood Cyclery had closed up, and that's been a few years now. People around here are like relieved. They don't have to drive to Redlands, because I used to do that drive, so I know exactly what they're coming for. They don't have to drive, the opposite way into Riverside and go through, all the traffic, because we have a lot of traffic, even though the distance isn't bad. And we're the only one that do repairs, and I think it kind of shows through on our reviews, our Google reviews. Everybody's just sort of more at ease and relieved, that we have, some people are kind of adjusting to like, okay, they have things now. We have tubes and chains, and we can get it right and get the right thing on there and not have to say, well, let's try this or try that. But yeah, just the people, it's been pretty rewarding, and just having the ability to get out there, and we've got so many new riders, these last couple of years that bought bikes, and we're trying to make it our mission to keep them going, to get more people, to let them know, where RBC meets and what days, and where the rides start, and let people know it's not a sufferfest.
Right.
There's A, B, C, D. It's more welcoming. I've been doing that a lot.
Yeah, and you guys do a lot of older bikes too. Like for me, for those of you guys at home, I'm almost full into gravel. I still have a bike that I ride as road, but I had a difficult bike to work on where I took a Trek I think it's a T900. It's like a hybrid tandem, and you guys converted it to me for me as a gravel bike, and the braking was probably the hardest thing to get dialed. And you had Devin and you hop on there to test the braking for me and my kids so that we don't crash and burn. It's been great. Eric Pippins, small bike shops are the backbone of the cycling industry. And that's 100% true. We have to keep in mind while we're ordering things online, and this is all of us, me included, that we still need to make sure we're going through local bike shops, because at some point we're also going to need our bike to be serviced above what we can do. So that's just something to to keep in mind there, because yeah, I want to be able to, go to a local bike shop and say, dude, I don't know what is going on with my hub.
Right.
And one of my buddies is going with that right now. He's trying to figure out what the heck's happening on his bike, and we're all taking votes on what it is. Are you still working on a 48-hour turnaround for repairs? I know for a while you guys were able to do that. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, we're still plugging away at 48 hours, sometimes faster. Sometimes things aren't as bad as they seem. It's like, oh, I need a new this. It's like, oh, we just need to adjust it, that kind of thing. But
you heard that, kids. 48-hour turnaround time. So if you need a quick turnaround time, that's definitely something to check out. Okay, so and we'll go through some of the specifics here, but what's something unique about your shop?
Well, just besides being the only one in town that does the repairs, we kind of focus a lot on the repairs. We're not going to judge people for bringing in an old bike. We like working on old bikes. It's a lot of ways easier to find the parts for too. But we have a faster turnaround. We take advantage of our distributor in Redlands because Devin lives around the corner, literally. So we do will call. We don't have to wait 3 days, 2-3 days for FedEx or UPS to drop something off.
You just got to wait for Devin.
You just got to wait for Devin. Yeah, we just got to, have Devin's got his caffeine, and he's taking his lunch at 11 a.m. on the dot every day. But yeah, so we can get stuff fast. Our supplier is right there. They have everything under the sun except some Shimano stuff, but they've got everything else.
If you want to treat Devin, get him fancy coffee. He likes that.
Yeah, he's the Diet Coke.
And
Diet Coke is his thing. Yeah. I don't know so much about the fancy coffee, but yeah, a little bit of fancy coffee. But Diet Coke is the easiest if you want to slam dunk. Just showing up with the Diet Coke for him.
So you sell Surly and Jamis bikes, so that may be something that makes you guys kind of unique. Surly has some tricky bikes.
I don't think anybody in Southern California's got Jamis. They're very big back east. They've been great to us because they were getting us bikes when nobody else did.
Awesome.
And we've got Diamondback too for something a little more for people that want to dip their toe into it, whether it's a road bike, gravel bike, mountain bike. They do it all at a little more approachable prices. If not everybody's going to feel great about plunking down $2,000 and when they don't normally ride or they haven't ridden in a long time. So Diamondback is like a good gateway bike to get you hooked.
Yeah, and I think that is a good distinction too, because I know there's a lot of times where I'm trying to get someone like me and everybody I know. I don't even want to talk about how much we spend on bikes and stuff, but trying to get other people introed into it. So Eric wants to know if you have a video of Devin on the penny farthing.
I think I still do. Yeah, on Dave's penny farthing. Yeah. I'll post that on the page. I'll post it on our Facebook.
Oh, and then Sadiq, my daily driver commuter is a Jamis, and I love it. Another RBC member showed up with one day. Oh, look at that camaraderie there.
I just built my Jamis sequel, so I think I'll be getting back to it. Gonna get started as if we get through the rain here, get going on it again.
You can be Jamis buddies. And Eric was asking if you still are selling Surly, and yes, he is.
Yep.
The coolest one I saw recently was, I think Greg bought the ice cream truck through you guys.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fat bike. That bike was a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be too. I was really pretty impressed with the way you guys built it out.
It's come a long way. Yeah. Just making them tubeless sheds like 5 pounds off of it once you get the tubes out of there. But our old boss, Eric Edicano, he does these crazy rides on his Pugsley fat tire bike. That was kind of the precursor to the ice cream truck.
Yeah. Desert ride. On a horse with no name. And then what's a Roadrunner bag?
Oh, Roadrunner, I've got just one here. Made in the USA, Los Angeles. We got a bunch of different colors. Handlebar bag. They also make top tube bags. I'm type 1 diabetic. I live out of it just to keep the blood sugar up. Sometimes you need some honey stingers, or we're doing really well with charge gel, or just something for your keys. It's just nice to have that right on the bar or the top tube if you need it. Kind of lived out of it for Tour Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Just to grab, just to have something on the fly and have it there. And sometimes like jamming everything in the pockets of the jersey kind of weighs you down a little bit. So, and we're kind of on a mission to have as much made in the USA product as possible. So Roadrunner bags, Cygolite, we do really well with Cygolites. They're made in Irvine. So we're kind of on a mission to bring that more and more of that stuff in as we come across it.
I didn't know that Cygolites was out of Irvine. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they don't do a lot of promotion. I don't think they even have an Instagram. Just selling them, but I've never had a warranty one, so I just kept bringing them in. ODI grips, we do a lot of ODI grips. They're made in Riverside, like on Kansas Avenue in a building you never know. I don't think there's a logo or anything on the building. I think it's pretty easy to drive past it. Have no idea.
I think it's maybe a good idea would be to later on you can put comments on some of those companies because I didn't know that. Like Cygolites are pretty bulletproof. Dave runs one. We all have probably too many bike lights. Really, I have like 4, but they make some good stuff. And then maybe some of those other brands like was it ODI grips? I've never heard of them.
Yeah, they do mountain bike, motocross, BMX. Yeah, I don't think they have few options for the grip tape, but I don't think the grip tape's made in the US. The grips are. So we've got a pretty good, I try to bring in as many colors as possible. And, when you have a mountain bike or a BMX bike, it's kind of fun to jazz it up because everything has black grips and a black seat. Sometimes you want to add a little color to it. So it can be fun.
Flash little something. So Strada Rosa, I saw you out there. I did Strada Rosa. I picked the wrong bike. And had that crazy charge gel. You carry that charge gel stuff too. If you guys haven't tried that, it's a trip. I'd say try it just out of curiosity. I had the white grape one, and it was a trip. But yeah, it helped me not bonk at least.
It'll dig you out of it'll keep you from bonking out. It doesn't have caffeine. It's got a cap on it. It's easy to. It's kind of easy to. You don't have to down all of it at once and
pretty big.
Find a trash can so the gel doesn't get inside your jersey pocket. You can have a cap, put it back, and drink the rest of it later. Or down the whole thing at once. I usually have to do that, especially on a ride like Strada Rosa. It's a very new product. It's made by a Japanese candy company. The KHS Pro mountain bike team has been using it for a little while. And they've got they send a bunch of samples to hand out. So
looks like
squeeze pouch.
Squeeze pouch for adults. Yes, of course Sadiq would like that. Yeah, me too. If I'm being honest, I did feel like a little kid because I was all like at the outside of Strada Rosa there.
Yeah,
you related to Chris Gate, the man, the myth, the legend, on Tuesday, Thursday nights.
I know of him. I've never really met him.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. He is my dad, and he is probably in better shape than he's ever been because he doesn't have little league practice or basketball games to get to, and so now he's able to get 4 nights a week. Also, when he walks into the shop, that the bike better be done according to the ride calendar. Because it's got to get ready to rock. But honestly, the shop wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Literally, because he's so big and strong, putting up the slat wall would be impossible.
You don't make him like Chris Gate anymore, that's for sure. And then Eric, our Merino Valley expert, said that Merino Valley highlights small businesses with 30-second promotional videos. Have they contacted you? No, I did not know that. I had a lot of back and forth with them, getting the business permits and inspection and all that stuff. But no, I didn't know that. I'll have to reach out to them. Yeah, that'd be good. He's our Moval expert. So how was it? And we'll have Sadiq put that picture up. How was it opening a shop with a toddler? Because as all this is going on, your kid how old is he there?
See, that was right when we opened. So he was 3. He's 4 now, and he loves it. He'll pick it over any place, where he's like, do you want to go to grandma's house or do you want to come to the bike shop? He doesn't hesitate. Bike shop. He loves it. And it's actually helped with him socially. He was pretty shy and sometimes would come across rude. So now he, at least says hello to people. We had to have a little chat about not riding the bikes when customers walk in because he almost ran over somebody's foot the other day. He's fashioned himself a little racetrack and the dirt display with our surly karate monkey, and he'll ask me to move it. He's got his monster trucks here at the shop, so he'll bring the monster trucks out, and that actually buys me a good hour and a half of him just playing with his trucks in the display with all the dirt and the pine cones in it. And it's been honestly, it's been pretty good. It's when there's when the daycare provider, which is Chris Gate, oftentimes has a head cold or something's going on, I can just bring him because nobody around here is going to cut my hours. I don't have to ask anybody's permission.
That's right.
You're
the boss.
I just have to make sure I pack the Teddy Grahams and the apple slices so he can have a snack and run around in Devin's work area as soon as Devin goes to lunch because he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, don't be there when Devin's in there. That's his domain. So that kind of talks about that same thing. Do you feel like it's been easier or harder for the work-life balance now that you're the shop caller?
It's been easier. Yeah. I mean, I worked at other shops where it was tougher. Because I live over by Lake Paris. It's 6 miles away. They're working on this Juan Bautista de Anza trail to come across town, so it'll be even easier. I'll be able to ride almost totally on a bike trail to the shop as they progress with building it out. But it's been easier. We're just really lucky. We're lucky to have family close by. For the elementary school he'll be going to kindergarten is across the street from my house.
Awesome.
So yeah, it won't be as bad, but yeah, it has been easier. It's just easier when you have the keys to the place and you don't have to hide a kid in the back at a shop.
Being a family-owned business is sometimes hard on the family. So yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're able to incorporate that. He's there because I really feel like he can be instrumental too in getting, youth. He's a little too young probably at this point, but just being able to get youth out, like those of you guys are watching too, make sure you're encouraging kids to get out. Now I've seen that as a bigger deal than ever before, where kids are they're staying on their electronic devices. They're just not going outside. Visiting a local bike shop, showing them some bikes, getting them excited about something like that may be a really great way to help a kid get more active. And you're type 1 diabetic, which is genetic, but there's plenty of kids within our country that are getting type 2.
Yes, that's why they renamed it.
Right.
Yeah, they had to rename diabetes because there's so many kids that have type 2. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of that just stems from not enough physical activity. So, as a bike club, hopefully we can, reach out and help more people stay active. So Lake Paris, for those of you guys watching, I'm trying to get an organized ride that goes around Lake Paris. It's a gravel ride. I just did it. It's on my Strava, and it's within our club routes too. I'm trying to get like an organized one. I think would be really good. And maybe we can talk later about that. But you have an anniversary ride coming up when?
The Saturday, the 1st. Yes, we had to keep pushing it back because it just kept raining. Yeah. Saturday after Saturday. The shop actually opened at the beginning of March, but it just rained and rained and rained and rained and rained. So we're like, okay, I think we're safe. So we have a gravel route that kind of uses a lot of your route, and taken off from the shop, because we've got Ironwood and just, working a safer way to get past the 60 freeway here because we're so close to it.
Yes.
We want to get past the off ramps and the on ramps. So we'll be leaving from just around behind the building here down Ironwood, and just there's bike lanes. That is one thing. Moreno Valley's come a long way. The bike lanes, and And to your point about getting the kids active, so many people don't know about the lake. They don't know there's a trail around the lake, a paved one. They don't know about the new Juan Bautista de Anza trail. So I'm frequently writing down, where to park at little El Potrero Elementary School because the trailhead's there. So new, if you look it up on a map, you're not going to see it. It's not on Google Maps.
Yeah. So those of you guys that are, so those of you guys that are watching, so Eric Lewis was instrumental in making all that happen, the Juan Bautista Trail. But what he's talking about is there's now, like, if you're old school and you used to, ride around Lake Perris, there's a section you had to like get off your bike and walk and do the dirt. It is all 100% paved. And then when you're exiting the lake, you used to have to get dumped out in Ramona Expressway. And it was terrifying getting down that thing because you have people passing you at like 120. The city, and I think Eric again, go Eric Lewis, he was instrumental in getting there's a school that butts up there. And what the great thing about doing rides with Eric is we get like a whole historical tour and we get all this information. I probably should have brought him on this podcast actually, but he basically worked with the school and they widened it. So when you pull out of Lake Perris, there's a little tiny bike sign and you go right and it's a completely protected, a lot like our Santa Ana River trail with bridges and it bypasses all the busiest streets. Really, really good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Just riding from a little elementary school called El Potrero Elementary School. It's next to a park. It's a nice place to park, because you're gonna be gone on a ride. It's nice to like leave your car there and stuff. And then you have an option. You come to a fork. It's signed really well. You go left if you want to ride to the lake and do a loop, or you make a right. You go over a bridge and it connects to a really flat Perris Valley Trail out in Perris. And if you're of a gravel bike persuasion, you can just keep going after the pavement ends. It's pretty flat, but I've been kind of working on that route because it'd be kind of fun. You can end up in Canyon Lake if you keep going. I did it accidentally. I didn't know where I was, and I looked on Strava. I was like, "Oh my gosh, we're in Canyon Lake." We went all the way down there, not knowing. We just like went till we were running out of water, and we turned back.
Yeah, Eric was just talking about that on our last ride that you can, it's all mostly protected. And you're right. If you're on a gravel bike or a mountain bike, although if you're on a mountain bike, a lot of that is not going to be fun until you hit the dirt. On a road bike, you could probably push it a little bit if you're tubeless. I wouldn't maybe push it too far because you're going to get
a little bit. Yeah. In the summer, it gets a little bit, it's so dry and hard packed. Yeah.
And we get bullheads or whatever you call those things, goat heads all over the place. And I think Eric's working on, it's still an experimental route. He hasn't fully ridden and tested everything, but he has one that goes out all the way out to Diamond Valley Lake too. I don't know if that utilizes that same trail system. It may be on a separate one. I know he's done Canyon Lake for sure. Like you were saying, you go all the way out there on that trail. Okay. Well, good stuff. Is there anything else, like maybe, because you talked about your customers being mainly just a good experience in general. Is there such thing as a perfect customer? What's a perfect customer that you're looking for other than a big baller that's going to come in and buy real expensive bikes? What's that?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just been pretty rewarding. Everybody seems to just sort of, appreciate we try to keep a more community feel to it. We don't, we're not walking around in matching polo shirts or anything like that. Sometimes you don't even know we work here because we're wearing comfortable stuff and trying to keep it light. We have such a broad spectrum, like on our repair rack, a Carbon Specialized Diverge, a Colnago, all the way to some Huffy kids bikes on a Target special. So that is sort of the challenge is with a small shop. You got to keep parts for the Huffies and for the high end. And we try to show people we do have that. We can keep 7-speed freewheels in the storage closet. Keep the old Technic cassettes in the counter in the front.
Right. And we got plenty of RBC people that go there pretty frequently. Tony's there all the time, speaks very highly of you guys. I remember him delivering some kind of food or something to you guys relatively recently. and then Dave and Greg, a bunch of RVCers. So,
Oh yeah. Yep.
well, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Got DI2 diagnostic from when we get the mystery DI2 problem about why it shifts and doesn't shift. We've got that. So yeah, we keep pretty busy just trying to keep everything, array of tubeless stuff. And yeah, so, even if you need a part and you got it online, it's not a super big deal to us if you bring it in for us to put on. We're a little place. We're not going to have, 12 of this or that hanging on we just can't, because we can't fit it. We don't have any room. I got enough tires in my garage right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Tires take up a good amount of room, and you don't have a massive warehouse. Just impossible to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thanks so much for coming on and sharing your experience about what it's like to, start a bike shop, run a bike shop, and have that work-life balance. Again, he sells Surly and Jamis bikes. I don't know if Sadiq got the Ghost Grappler up or not, but Surly sells some crazy looking bikes. This one right here that Sadiq pulled up. What's so cool about it, there's a ton of cool things about it, but one of the really big things is this is one of the first bikes, I believe, that the Geo can be both flat or drop bar. It does not care. And it's specifically designed so that you could set it up either way. Obviously a little bit more dirt centric bike packing. So if that's something you want to look into, that would be a really neat bike. Price levels are great. If you're like maybe gravel curious and you don't want to go and spend, like you said, because they get up there. If you get a high-end gravel bike, they get up to $8,000 or more. Pretty cool.
Yeah. And we'll have some new more road-centric brands coming pretty soon. Can't quite talk about just yet, but we're pretty excited about because some brand like Jamis doesn't really do a road bike. It's pretty much gravel, mountain.
Yes.
So some of these brands have shifted, and because they just couldn't get parts. Why do a road bike if you can't get Ultegra shifters for it, kind of thing. So, but yeah, we're gonna have some exciting things for 23 coming pretty soon. So we'll be talking about that later on.
Awesome. Well, that's it for today's show. I didn't have quite time to do like a review kind of thing. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up here at 33 minutes. Thanks again so much for showing up. And again, those links, if I really want to make sure that everybody is saving those links, because I think all of us should have them. It may not be for you, but it may be for someone just to be, a helpful human, as it were. And we got so many great people that are writing. I think we could really help the community that way and reach people that way too. So when in doubt, pedal it out.